Welcome back, folks. We are here for match number 2 between SYF and Downfall. It is me, your local pal Zepph, and I am now joined by the voice of God himself, Insano, sliding on in so you guys don't have to listen to my voice go on and on and on all night. All hail Insano. How you doing, buddy?
Man, that's a bit of an accolade to give me.
Gotta talk you up, bud.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to jump in and cast. I know my team is playing, but we'll keep it clean.
No caster bias from Insano. Aw, here I was expecting.
Hey, you might get a U-Butte at the end of a game if we win, but you know,
maybe an Insano fist pump in the background. I've definitely heard a few of those when we're casting in a different room from you, and like the SYF guy wins, and you hear this yes from the other room. So cool, good to have you on board. And I figure that you've got some pretty sick knowledge bombs about your team as well that you can drop while we cast this series, because I know you're pretty in the know about these the preparation from these guys, obviously being so involved in the team. Are you team captain for this, or are you just like team manager?
Oh, I suppose I'm manager, but I'm in making pretty much the decisions on who goes where on maps and for the matchups and stuff like that. So we've been pretty successful so far, so good formula.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I guess winning season 1 is an alright result. Not too bad.
If you're excited about those fist pumps I had during the obses, you should have heard me in Discord during that night.
Goodness, I'm sure you raised a racket. It's the thought of it amuses me too, because like you got a pretty like calm voice in real life. You know, you're pretty chilled out, but the one thing that you do get hyped about is SYF winning games, and I can't blame you. So, what do you reckon? Are you guys gonna win this one?
No caster bias or anything. But yeah, we're feeling pretty confident to walk away with the win tonight. So yes. Cool. But yeah, Abiogenesis is going to be our map between Voj and Hut here, and this is favorably a good map for Terran. And I'm actually interested to see what Hut has cooked up for this map, because I honestly have no idea what Hut's been training for.
Okay, well we'll soon find out. Let's intro these guys though. In the bottom right, spawning in the red trunks for Downfall, this is Voj.
And in the top left, in the blue trunks, representing SYF Gaming, it is Hut.
Oh yes, I'm gonna have to get you to teach me some sick WCS overlay micro at some point, because my god. I am stretching my memory for like hotkeys and stuff. I don't know how you do this, man. Gotta be honest.
But Hut opening pretty standard here. It's a pretty kind of scary map. Like, this is something where a Zerg can really pull out. Well, I've actually seen a 12 pull beat a Terran on this map, which is pretty crazy. I mean, it didn't die. The Terran didn't die in the 12 pull stage, but he was massively behind from it. And then there's also the 12 pull Ravager Rush, which is also very strong on this map just because of the rush distance. So good option for Hut here to open up the barracks first and get the Reaper out as fast as possible.
Yeah, it is not the biggest map in the pool, that's for sure. You got some cool little pathways to some of the other bases. But in the long run, you know, you don't actually have that much breathing room from your opponent. And especially when you've got a Zerg, and, you know, C Zergs and A and Z Zergs are pretty good at spreading that creep. I think you do very much have to watch how much they're taking over the map, or you might lose it very quickly. So, we'll see what happens here. I mean, it won't be long before we have this pool up and running and get some speed, and then you can start having a bit of map control. But until then, you're absolutely right. Hut, with going for that Reaper expand, will have a little bit more free reign of the map.
Yeah, actually, a very early SCV scout here from Hut as well. So he's definitely wanting to be very safe here against Voj. It is the team league. It is a best of one. So you don't want to die to anything silly that you shouldn't have not scouted. And setting the SCV first, making sure that it's not going to be any kind of weird roach play. And he confirms that SCV scouted the hatch first. Reaper is dancing around, and Hut's going to be a happy boy.
Yes, indeed. Comes in, grabs himself a couple of lings. I think you've seen that Evo Chamber too. Oh, the Queen's coming out now, though, so he does have to be a little bit careful. Pull back, gets that full scout off. He's definitely seen that Evo Chamber now. And he still may get to pay the Reaper, get the Zerg to pay the Reaper tax. If he's able to come back in a second time. But back at home, he has his CC on the low ground finished up. He's got a Marine patrolling here as well. And back in his base, there goes the switcheroo with the factory and the barracks, getting that starport up as well, so we can switch into Hellion production for the time being. And that'll give him a little bit more control. And once that medevac comes out, we may see a bit more aggression come out here from Hut.
Yeah, Hut playing pretty standard at the moment. He's seeing Vodge not doing anything aggressive as of yet. I mean, there was the very early Evo champ coming out from Vodge, and that'll spark a little bit of curiosity from Hut just to see what's going on. And he hasn't really set anything up to be scouting for dropper lords as of yet, but he's just going to try and keep Vodge at home for now while he just builds up.
Yeah, just being a little bit of a bother with what he has there. Baneling Nest coming down for Vodge here as well. Smart move. Good to have, especially if your opponent is going to end up going for something like Hellbat. It's a little bit chunkier. But even so, just it's a good emergency unit in general. We have Hut patrolling Marine on one side here. But the Overlord's actually swinging in from a different angle, and he's going to get a good scout at the tech here before that gets taken out. He will just miss that first medevac popping out, I think. But he can come in and see what's happening here. Before going any further. Now, he did make a bunch of links back at home. He's now sent those around one of these other pathways and heading towards his opponent's base. But Hut is ready here. He's got Hellions. He has found these. He's got to try and roast some of these up.
Yeah, good play.
Evacuate them.
Great play there. This is actually a really nice little timing from Vodge. Hut has been caught a little bit unawares of now. He's going to lose his 3rd CC for sure there, and he's evacuating to the main, and the depot hasn't gone up. Siege tank is now under fire, and Vodge is going to be starting to run rampant.
Hut in a little bit of trouble here. The siege tank goes down. These SCVs are fighting for their lives, but Lings just do so much damage, especially with that +1. And Vodge is committing pretty hard to this Ling flood. 20 more Lings on the way. A huge bunch of Banelings coming in as well. There's just not anything here on the ground for Hut. Not even sure where the Hellions got off to, but even if they were here, wouldn't matter. This is absolute carnage.
Yeah, it's a little bit dicey from Hut. Hut never brought his Hellions back home to defend. He just left him dropped outside of his natural. He is coming for the cleanup crew now, but how much damage has he taken now? He's down to 10 workers. Vodge is still killing off supply depots. He's got a good, decent army count here, Hut, but he can't be wasted.
Yeah, Hut is hardly mining. He's just trying to use whatever he has left to hold on here, and he has regrouped for the moment, and having that siege tank back on the high ground there is going to help a lot as well. But Vodge is continuing to mass up here, more and more Lings coming out, and back at home he's fairly comfortable. He's just getting some spores for a bit of safety. He has a 3rd base, not that it's droned, and he just marches straight back up the ramp. He knows he's got overwhelming numbers at this point. The siege tank is going to get taken out, and more units can continue to stream in here. The Banshee, a really good choice from Hut. But these Lings are still going to get in here and get some extra damage done.
Hut really underestimating the +1 Lings there of Vodge, and they really ran rampant in his base. Vodge now up 20 workers, 3 bases, and still just streaming Lings across the map. So Hut needs to be really on top of it.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Hut here, and I think this has been a smart move from Vodge as well, because Hut is a terrifying player. He's been looking amazing, especially in the late part of last year. And I would be absolutely horrified to face this guy in a macro game, and I do tend to favor Hut a little bit over Vodge, and that's maybe purely just because I haven't seen Vodge play a lot, but man, like
those +1 Banelings, man, they're doing some real damage here. The Lings get in here once again. Banshee has to come home, but the Lings are split. The Marines got split up there from Hut, and he's going to lose all of those Marines super quickly. And these Lings, once again, just going to send Hut back to the Dark Ages in economy.
Yeah, really valiant effort from Hut here, trying to hold on, but at the end of the day, he's lost 40 workers, and that number is only climbing. These Banshees are doing some serious work, but his economy is just in tatters. Vaj has free reign of the map. He can macro up. He can continue throwing stuff at him at this point. And at the moment, he's doing a bit of both. 11 drones in the background, bunch of lings at the front. This base cannot be mined from. He's even having trouble cleaning up the lings that are still floating around in his main every time that he marches up that ramp.
Yeah, Hut's really trying to hold on here with the mule economy, but with 6 workers and double mule, facing 45 workers, 3 base economy, going up to now Muta, it's going to be a very tough ask here. Vaj playing this very...
Yeah. He's just so ahead, it's hard to see a way back into it for Hut. He evacuates that low ground position finally, going, you know what, not even worth it, just going to sit up the top here, really bunkering himself in as well, so that if Vaj wants to bust, he's going to have to waste a lot to do so. And these Banshees are really the one thing that he can utilize at the moment, but they're on a timer as well, because they can't really do any damage in the drone line. But also this Spire is going to be finishing up very shortly. There's a lot of money in the bank for Vaj already, and he can keep storing that up. And then he can come with a bunch of mutas and take those out pretty easily. And also bypass the defenses that Hut has put up for himself. Yeah, I do like that mine position there.
Hut going to start dancing with the queen. He really wants to kill that queen, but he's not going to be able to get it. And he scouts the Spire in this time as well. And I don't know. It's going to be really tough for Hut here. He'll be making his decision pretty soon once the mutas come across the map, whether he's staying in the game or if he's got enough to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, he is doing a lot of stuff with what he has left. He's up to, 48 workers killed by Vaj in this game, but he himself has now managed to pick off about 10 drones. These Banshees, unfortunately, are going to go down now that the mutas are out and about. Ling's still camping out the front of Hut space as well, so yeah, there goes that last Banshee. And what does Hut have left to battle against this many mutas? He comes out, repairs that Viking real quick here, but he only has 4 Marines and a couple of mines, so he's going to have to hope for some real good hits with those mines in order to hold this off.
Yeah, he's hiding his mines behind whatever buildings he can find, really. But it's just a matter of pretty much baiting the muta or the lings into there for one huge hit. And he does get one good bait in there, kills off a lot of the ground force, and the mutas are left there all alone, but they do have enough DPS to pretty much kill everything else in the main.
Oh, this SCV prepare though, it's not quite enough. He does take out a couple of mutas there with that Viking, but now everything is just about expended itself. Oh, one more mine hit, pretty good. I mean, God, he's actually survived a lot longer than I thought he would. Only 3 mutas left. Could Hut be any harder to actually finish off in such a game?
He's starting to run out of mineral stocks in the main here, so and Vaj is taking a 4th base now. His economy is still intact. Hut hasn't been able to do any damage across the map really, except for a little bit of Banshee hero.
Yeah, not really, and there's just more mutas on the way here as well. He's trying to get into this mineral line where Hut has just constructed a missile time with the friendly fire of that mine. Turns out mines can be a pretty good Zerg unit too, and these mutas are still trying to do work. Hut is just being so tenacious here. He's just clinging to life, and he's actually got himself a very nice little fortified position back here. It's just a bit unfortunate because he's starved for money. He hasn't really been able to get himself an economy, and now Vaj comes in again trying to finish off Hut, but he just retreats back to this bunker and mine position.
Hut actually microed his Widow Mines a little bit there to make sure he didn't get any splash damage on his SCVs, but is it going to be enough at this point? Vaj now dancing his units.
Cheeky. He's like, get out of my game, nerd, because he's basically had this in the bag. Hut is just refusing to die, but there it is. GG.
Well played by Vaj. Well
Very
played.
nicely done.
Hut really kind of underestimated the build there.
Yeah, hey, that's a tough pill to hold too, especially when you're not quite expecting that to come at you. So well done to Vaj. He puts a point on the board against SYF, evening it up to a 1-1 situation here. So 3 more maps potentially left on this series, depending on how we go in the next couple of maps. So that's a pretty awesome result for Vaj. Hut a player that you can't take lightly in any series. So that was very well done. He prepared that build excellently.
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised a little bit about Hut there. I think, but I think everyone's a little surprised, to be honest. But yeah, like Vodge getting it over Hut there is definitely a massive upset, and Vodge should be very proud to get a point on his team there for Downfall. So congratulations to Vodge there.
That's it. Awesomely done. So guys, once again, we'll take a quick break and get the next map set up. It's going to be on Catalyst between Seether and Luneth. Going to be pretty sick. Our first TVP of the season. So get hyped. Tell your friends. I am Zev, and with me is Insano. So don't go away. There are many more matches to come up next.